there are people living in it, and if you see the traffic.
It's out of control today.
Is it a vacant lot or is there an abandoned?
No, it's not abandoned.
Well, there's a vacant. And then
Well, yes, they actually have, a developer owns it,
yeah,
Yeah, well,
because there was so many problems.
Okay. almost all of the house burn downs that I've been tracking around the city are owned by developers. That doesn't mean houses aren't in. Because they're planning to tear them down.
oh no, well, it's like it's next door to the liquor store. There's like a commercial building
And then
that's
they
vacant,
the building.
and then there's an empty lot, so it's
Are there
like,
two different properties?
yeah.
So
No,
two different
no,
ownership?
No, it's one owner. They own. Well, we were told they bought that people were gonna knock it down.
Yeah.
We were thinking that we go to the liquor store too. But they have been taking care of it. And again, all the windows are broken now.
Hi, everybody.
Well,
Going online.
we haven't officially started. Oh, that's Caesar's meeting. I mean, we're on.
Oh, there's some.
Lisa's coming.
Oh, Lisa's here.
Okay, so the Zoom has started, but you haven't called the meeting
Right.
to order.
Oh, okay, good.
And you're being recorded with your game.
Great.
So you guys can decide if you want to call it to order now at time, or if you want to let people, I'm supposed to.
Good afternoon, everyone. The time is 7:01. We will be starting a public safety and emergency committee meeting. Call to order. We're gonna do
Here, do you
a
want some
brief minute
agenda?
of public comments.
Well,
Let's
no.
share the agenda.
We're
I'll
gonna
share the agenda.
We're gonna share the agenda.
Sorry, I'm gonna do it individually. It's cross it your way and share. And I think you still have people.
Coming in.
Coming in. Okay, more the merrier. Yes, there you go. Oh, Gracie.
Okay, so you have an officer attending.
Thank you for joining us, Officer Cardenas.
So now I'm going to try to share the agenda. Can people online let us know, just say yes, if you can see the agenda?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, great, thanks. Okay, call to order, review of the agenda. We welcome and attendee introductions. So I'm Karine Alfrich, I'm co-chair of the Public Safety and Emergency Committee. And we have here.
The other co-chair, Grace Yu, for Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness Committee. We're glad to see so many of you
Yes.
here with us today because we have a hot issue to discuss.
Okay.
Al, just say hi.
Oh, Al Auburn, hello.
Laura Myers, I'm on the UNNC board and I live in Angeles Vista.
Hello, Brandon. I live on 31st.
I'm Silky on the UNNC board as well, in Jefferson Park.
We have online Caesar.
Yes.
Yes, I'm Caesar. I'm also on the board, chair of the transportation and parking recs. Live in Jefferson Park.
You're just calling people.
Okay, Elisa. Allie.
You wanna unmute yourself?
Hey everybody, sorry, I'm still out of the office, but wanted to make sure I jumped on this call. This is Lisa Rivera from CD10, your field deputy, south of the 10, west boundaries, Crenshaw, east boundary, north of Jefferson is Western, south of Jefferson, it's Arlington, all the way down to Vernon.
Okay. Sunmin.
Hi, my name's Sunmin. I'm a Jefferson Park stakeholder and resident. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Officer Cardenas. I think we've just been emailing, but I'm looking forward to seeing all you guys at the Jefferson Park Watch. But I'm excited to be here to find out what else is going on at UNNC.
Heyo.
Hello, my name is Keo Tano, and I'm a resident of 31st Street in Jefferson Park. And so I'm here to be involved with the conversation relating to item number 5. Thank you.
And Officer Cardenas.
Hello, everybody. I just got told of this meeting, so I'm here to answer questions, but I'm your new senior lead officer in Jefferson Park area.
Thank you. And I don't think there's anyone else here. Okay, so this is Laura speaking. Just a little bit of Zoom homework. Because there's so many people sitting in the Zoom room. When the recording happens and the transcript happens, every one of the 6 of us who are in the room are recorded as UNNC president. So you need to say your name when you are speaking, like I had just done. This is if you're on Zoom on the screen, it captures you as who you are. And then also, I'm going to stop the share, not sharing this meeting, you're not doing that, but also for those of us in the room, remember that the meeting is there up on the television and not just here in the room. And I always remind myself, because I tend to look at the computer where really there's meetings. Okay.
Okay,
To you.
Hi, this is Karine again. We're gonna go to item number 3, which is the general public comment. There's the opportunity for 1 to 2 minutes per person to speak something in the general public.
Okay. Do we have any? Caesar has his hand raised.
Yeah, hi. Just wanted to say hello, and I wanted to raise sort of a public safety concern, which is our streets nowadays. There's since last year we've been advocating for safer streets, and I feel like this committee could partner up with the transportation committee and get some voice out about how potentially we can improve the safety of our streets. That's my public comment.
Thank you.
And I have the 3 coffee with cop type events to share. So
Okay.
So this is Laura sharing again. Hi. There are a couple of LAPD sponsored events coming up. I'm sorry I can't necessarily do this in a proper order, but I mean date order. So one is Tip a Cop, which will be supporting Special Olympics, and it's at a nearby restaurant to us, Chick-fil at 3758 South Figueroa on July 23rd from noon to 3. And it seems like every time you make a tip that day, it's going to go to Special Olympics. It's not going to go to the staff there. And let's see, now I have to try to figure this out. There we go. Really in wrong order. Tuesday, August 4 is the official Southwest Police Division stations night out on crime, and it has taken place for years and years and years, not in Jefferson Park, but rather in Adams, Normandy. Marco Flores, who's now working for Council District 8, and his family kind of host it, and they do a march down the Paseo, and then they go back and eat a lot of food. And so these flyers are in our agenda packet, but it's a march out on crime. And last but not least is the one that's soonest, Coffee with a Cop, next Tuesday, July 21st, from 10 a.m. to noon down at Fuegos, which is the Argentinian restaurant. And they're going to have coffee, conversation, community. I think they're going to have Argentinian pastries. Well, certainly for purchase, but I'm guessing they're for free. And so that's next Tuesday at 10 a.m. And that is my general public comment. We have a few more people in attendance now.
And Sunmin has raised her hand, so Sunmin, go ahead and speak.
Last Friday, I had walk and talk with Alan Morad, who is the executive assistant to Karen Bass's office. And as we're walking up and down Jefferson Boulevard, as I'm telling you about all the stuff everyone's doing regarding the safety along Jefferson Boulevard, there was actually a hit and run, literally right in front of us. And so I was like, look, this is what is happening here. So he's clued in, and I'm very excited that he's willing to meet and get to know everyone here and get to know the neighborhood.
Right, so Sunmin, this is Laura speaking, is he officially our deputy?
I'm not
If
sure.
you-
He says he's community. I don't know the exact, the area that he's, but he showed up at UNNC and he says he wants to meet with people and he wants to get to know what's going on. So I definitely was like, yeah, I'll give him an earful of all the wonderful things happening on Jefferson Boulevard and all the things we want to happen.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Laura speaking. Corinne, that's the gentleman who came to your emergency preparedness.
Yes.
So yes, he has been coming to our UNNC things.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Just to follow up, sorry. I have a meeting with him this week. We have been discussing a lot going on recently. But he did partner me with somebody different when discussing the item that's on our list today. So I'll find out this week to see who exactly is our liaison, if not him.
Thank you. Ally's deputy for council district 10.
Yes.
Okay, so
Did we have newcomers to the meeting? Do you want to introduce yourself really quickly?
Oh, sure. My name is Colette Amin. I am a new stakeholder here in Jefferson Park, and I'm also a stakeholder in Greater Reach. Former board member, a nonprofit, alternate, outreach chair, renter representative. I began, and I currently continue a free produce giveaway in GWNC Harold Henry Park. I'm here today because I want to discuss the Jefferson bus and also the fireworks. Most recently.
Oh, it's been a nightmare.
And I think I've spoken to Elisa Riviera when I first moved here.
So we could probably talk about fireworks under business.
Okay.
God knows, year after year, it's been just the agenda. And then Dolores.
And yes, Ms. Dolores, do you want to introduce yourself?
Maybe.
Okay, hi, good evening, everyone. Dolores Spears, resident of 31st Street, Region 6 for UNNC and former board member.
Thank you, Dolores. Sorry, the community meeting? Yes. Is anybody welcome?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, come on in. You're just in time. Okay.
Good evening, right?
Thank you. So, I don't know if the officer is here for item 2 or probably for item 3, if you want to switch the order.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, well, we do have Officer Cardenas. Cardenas, were you here as a representative on updates on the neighborhood, also about the enforcement issue on West 31st Street?
That's correct.
No, which one she's asking?
Update.
We have 2 agenda items.
Updates on 31st Street.
Okay, perfect.
I think you should.
Okay, we're gonna flip it and we're gonna use number 5 to be number 4, which is multiple enforcement issues on West 31st Street, including vehicle repair, abandoned building open to the public, drug dealing, and blight at 3 to 4 properties between Western and St. Andrews. And so, let's see.
So this is Laura speaking. I am the president of UNNC, and apparently with help from many board members, a prolific letter writer these days. So UNNC did write a lengthy letter with a lot of specifics back in February, actually Toki wrote the letter, but
Mhm.
then we changed it on, but and signed it by others. But in any case, we did send a letter to the Building and Safety requesting that the department investigate and institute more enforcement on these properties. And did get an immediate response. We wrote high level from the, I can't even pronounce her name, so I'm not gonna try, but high level official who said she was gonna have it investigated right away. So we have heard nothing since then. So next day we got a response back, which was pretty surprising, but then that's 5.5 months ago. But I think Ally has some updates, and I know there's a lot of community members, so I don't know which you want to do first. And I am certainly going to stop the share to make this a conversation.
Okay. So,
However you.
So why don't we hi, this is Grace speaking. If we can have the officer give us the latest update on what sort of enforcement issues you've seen and noticed and notified and ticketed perhaps.
So firstly, I've impounded 8 vehicles on that street alone on 31st Street within the last 3 days, and I've cited 12 vehicles within the last 3 days. Our narcotics unit is aware of the area and has set up buys, which indicate basically undercover individuals that go and potentially buy narcotics if there is.
One second, Officer Cardenas, part of it is you're speaking way too fast for us to catch every one of these things that you've been able to do. If you backtrack and start with, you impounded 8 cars this week in the last 3 days?
Yes.
Correct. So I've impounded 8 cars in the last 3 days, cited 12 vehicles in the last 3 days. I've worked with our narcotics unit, and they are setting up a buy, which means that they are sending undercover units basically to buy potential drugs in the area. Once they do confirm a buy, then they write up a search warrant, and then they can go and search the locations where they do buy the drugs. I have also worked along with our vice unit, and they have there's the mini mart right there on Western that a lot of the individuals on 31st Street like to roam to, and our vice unit did an ABC check with that mini mart, and it was in violations of many things that they're going to write up for me, and they're going to submit it to me so I can see what they're in violation of. And then what else have we done? We been in contact with the homeowner at 2081 West 31st Street, and she gave me the trespass order this morning, and I'm just waiting for her to actually put up the trespass signs, and she said she will put them up tomorrow morning. As soon as she does so, then us as PD are allowed to enforce any trespassers there. And our vice unit is going to help me out with that, because they are aware that a lot of the trespassers as well are prostitutes that are utilizing that location. So they're going to assist me with patrolling that area, so they can obviously get rid of that crowd that's being deterred there to 31st Street. Besides that, I have also requested extra patrol. So I have units every night going code 6, which means that they sit there for at least 30 to 40 minutes to see what's going on. And they report back the incident number if there's any issues every night back to me. And that's basically it on 31st Street as of now.
Thank you for that update. We have, this is Grace speaking. Brandon has his hand up. Brandon, go ahead and ask your question.
I'm just really surprised that 8 cars were towed from 31st, because it doesn't seem like there's been that great of an impact. And also with that said, I don't know if you were aware on Friday, but it appeared that there was a vehicle fire about 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the evening. I texted Ally. I didn't realize that she was out of town. But they were like hosing off like a car that they were repairing. It was very apparent that I was on fire. And then today, there was also a trash fire in the back of the, or not a trash, yeah, a trash fire, that it looks like they were using to cook chemicals. You can see the blue chemicals that were on the ground. It's just really concerning because, I mean, Ali was even telling me the other day that when she was near the 31st or on 31st, that she smelled like chemical smell on the street. So, I mean, it's becoming more and more of a safety concern and a fire concern. Like, I know that I've mentioned that we've had 3 or 4 car fires / explosions on our street in the past, but this happened on Friday and then also happened today. And then in regards to the streetwalker, I believe it was, what day was that? Monday? I believe I spoke with Ali that day, maybe it was Tuesday, but there was a woman that was walking down 31st to Western, and what is this called? She had underwear on, but by the time she got to Western, she no longer had underwear on. Her underwear were around her ankles, and she was dancing away on Western at 9:30 in the morning.
9:30 a.m.
Yes.
Normally that happens around 6 to 7. I used to take the Western bus all the way to the other university. That's happening a lot in the morning.
So I like, this is Laura speaking, I'd like to repeat the protocols for Zoom. If you're in the room, we need to have you state your name. Oh, no, interrupting is fine in our world, but you need to state your name because we're recording everyone in the room as UNNC president, and we'll have a transcript at the end of this meeting, and we want to know who said what. I mean, interrupting is not really great, but just say, I'm sorry I'm interrupting, my name is Tom, or whatever.
We're gonna go to Dr. Tano and then to Sophie. Go ahead, Dr. Tano.
Hello, my name is Kale, and I am a resident on 31st Street, a block from Western. And I wanted to add that I actually have video of the streetwalkers with no pants on, twerking at our car at probably around 11:30, 12 at night, which is when I see them because that's when I come home from weekend activities. I have pictures of them around 5 or 6 in the evening as I'm walking my dogs. And, you know, for a very long time, we didn't have them around. And then it seems to be a wave recently in this past year. I've lived on this block for 10 years, and we've been dealing with the same issues for the past 10 years. And, you know, I want to say thank you to Deputy Rivera and Officer Cardenas. I'm not sure if you knew exactly what you were walking into with this position. Dolores can speak as well. She's been here much longer than me, and we've been in the same committees trying to deal with these things, and it just seems like nothing is improving. And so I wanted to add my voice to that. A big issue for me personally is the abandoned house. The activity there is just insane. And it's not just on the driveway or in front of the house, it's in the middle of the street. We have to maneuver our way every time we go down that block. In addition, Soki knows, you know, my daily walks are down that block, and I can't walk down that block anymore. Like, I just can't because I'll get mad dogs stared at, you know, and there's also a dog on a chain in the front. There are several dogs. I don't know who they belong to. And so I'm afraid they're going to attack my dog. And so I just avoid that block, which is really sad that I can't take my dog on their normal walk. And then finally, one thing that I haven't heard tonight listed in the agenda is 2166 West 31st Street. I'm not sure if you guys are aware that that is an illegal nightclub operating there. If you pull out your phones, you can do a quick Google Maps search for Westerber Firestart International Movement. And you can see what they're running from that house. So every weekend, sometimes Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, every holiday, there's a nightclub running 2 houses down from my house, and they double park. And so sometimes there are people on the street guiding drivers to double park all along there. I have pictures of them blocking my driveway. And that's in addition to, in the past 10 years, I've seen a SWAT operation there. I've seen a number of things happening at that house. They even had a murder there, gunshot. You know, our block has experienced the Marine that got shot. You know, there's just so much happening, and it's just like, it's unbelievable that all of this is happening within a 2-block space. There's the homeless encampment, which, you know, I saw that it's gone, and I'm counting the days to see how long it takes for them to come back. Surprisingly, they're still gone, but, you know, hopefully it'll stay that way. But I have noticed that they've just moved a block down by the church. And for those of you who don't remember, there's a house right there that got burned down from the homeless. The back of the house got burned down, and the residents were not able to live there for 2 or 3 years while they were rebuilding. And so it's a concern that they have moved from one position to a block down to another position, still near our block between Arlington and Western.
Dr. Chao, thank you so much for this update of too many violations and too many issues on 31st. We have 4 other people with their hands raised. This is Grace speaking. So I'm sorry.
No problem.
But we'll come back.
I understand.
And then Dolores, and then Deputy Rivera.
This is Soki. Thank you everyone who attended, and I think it just shows how big of an issue this is. What I want to chime in on is that it seems like a game of whack-a-mole to some sense, you know, that homeless encampment. And thank you to Ali and Officer Cardenas for doing the work. But I wonder, and I'm just putting out there because I don't really know the solution. I wonder, how do you really get to the root of the problem here? You know, is it the same people? Is it, you know, specific homes that are just kind of bleeding over and moving the problem around? Because if we don't address that, you know, then we're just gonna constantly chase our tails in a circle. That's all.
Well, that's kind of what's been going on for the last 20 years.
And that was Brandon speaking
Yes.
to that. Dolores, you're on.
Thank you. This is Dolores Spears. I just wanted to piggyback on the comments that Dr. Made. I live on the far side of 31st Street, 2 houses away from Western, where the streetwalkers are on that corner. And I see them walking and jiggling and doing the things that they do to entice their Johns to come over and do their business. As far as the house and the shade tree mechanics down there, if I see them outside working, I don't even come down 31st Street. I go down 30th Street, come through the alley to get to my house to park my car, because you get the stairs, and if they're working on a car and they have the passenger door open, they don't even try to close the door. And if somebody's standing there talking to someone, that person doesn't move. So it's like a maze driving down 31st Street. We've been dealing with this issue for years. I've been on 31st Street since 1994, but it's been within the last 10 years. And I guess Al can verify, he's been living there much longer than me, how long the shade tree mechanics have been going on, but they're just, I don't care that they're working on cars, but just don't be a nasty, ugly, rude neighbor where you double and triple park in the street and you're parking all of that junk up to make the neighborhood look like Fred Sanford's junkyard. It's just, and what is the city attorney doing about this? We have the police coming out, they're doing the citing, we have code enforcement coming out, you're towing away the cars. but what about the owner of that property? How come the city attorney can't do something to make them not using that house and using that yard? Something needs to be done. Do we need to come out there with picket signs or what? I mean, it's been going on for too long. We had 2 neighbors sell their houses and move out of the neighborhood because they couldn't take it any longer. I'm thinking about selling my house as well. Thank you.
Laura. This is Laura. I'm wondering, and this is probably a question more for Ally, or maybe not. If they're repairing cars, isn't car repair itself regulated by AQMD or something like that? I mean, a whole other agency because of the toxic crap that it leaves behind.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Laura, but we have called every agency there is for years.
Well, and this, I don't mind you interrupting. I'm just saying, and if I can't see if Caesar's still on this meeting or not. Caesar from our board and I both responded to an AQMD notice that was to basically allow someone to do painting of cars, which we were both opposing. So that it seems to me that they do issue permits. So if car repair requires different kinds of permits from different agencies, at least they should be cited by those agencies. I mean, we need to pile up the violations, as it were, from the various agencies, whatever those agencies may be. And I'm not sure, since I don't own a car repair or auto related business, I don't know what the agencies are. But I think this is and yes, this, if someone needed to coordinate that, it would seem to me that it could be the city attorney coordinating. I don't know if there's a city attorney even assigned to this issue.
Okay, and now we had Al who wanted to say something, and then Sophie next, and then Ally again.
Can I just respond to Laura? I'm sorry, Al. Her question. The AQMD would mostly, if I'm not mistaken, be if they are requesting a permit or if they're permitted car shop. They are not. They're running an illegal repair on their private property and on the public street. What I have tried is watershed, but if there's no active leak happening at the moment, they cannot cite.
Okay.
I'm not sure where to begin. I've been there 26 years.
And this is Al speaking.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I've been there 26 years. We had seen such improvement. And in the past couple of years, I'm not sure where to begin, whether it's the illegal car repairs, my backyard of my neighbor, we had a car blow up. And so burst into flames. Then of course we had one in the front. The ticketing, I'm not sure what happens, because when there are 3 tickets on the same car and parking enforcement come, what if they're not paying the tickets? Why aren't the cars being towed? I thought that there was a law after 3 tickets, whatever. So the cars are indeed a problem. The double parking, which is common because people don't have driveway. But 31st Street has become a one-way street because where the Holtz live, it's about halfway down between Arlington, but there's a barrier that we had put in so cars can't go like that. Cars are parked so you cannot go down there. So it becomes a one-way street. And I'm surprised that we haven't had an accident, there. And the cars, as I said, are not.
This is Brandon, we actually did have an accident. There was a car that was speeding and there were a bunch of double park cars and they hit the neighbor's car and just like left. So I mean,
I'm surprised we don't have more than
yeah.
And then when cars are parked blocking the driveway, On each side of the street, on my side, we only have one person left, a wheelchair user, who is prohibited from going because they're parked blocking. On the other side, we have two people. And you see, pushing the son in the wheelchair. It blocks the driveway. Those are all the car problems. I think more important, and the prostitutes, Dolores, you don't get them behind your alley. I heard noise, and I went out the backyard, and there's business going on. And so let's see, the prostitutes, the cars, the abandoned house that I was working on. Audrey and I, one of my former neighbors who sold her house because no one responded to many of her requests. She lived next door to this house. And I think the house has been empty at least 15 years. And the dogs that are left there barking during the day, or the people had left the house because they were living in the RV. We had a battered RV for a while. And at that time, we had 6 people. And then people coming in and out. We've had up to a dozen people, different people. A couple of women, I'm not sure.
Oh, this weekend, this is Brendan again. This weekend, I counted about 15. And I've never seen any of those people.
Yeah. And it's gotten to the point, my granddaughter gave me a ride home. And of course, we couldn't park in front of my house because the cars were double parked. We were 4 cars behind. And the woman, I said, it's okay. When your own family is unsafe and they don't want to come into the house. It's safety issues. And now, as I said, it's, whether it's Audrey, my next neighbors across the street, a very young couple who've only been there a year and have seen the burning, the fires going on, people jumping over a fence. I mean, it's become a safety issue. And I'm really, Allie has responded, but I started, and I have emails to the council office going back to 2025 when no action was done. So I could go on with many other details, but it's very frustrating. And, as I said, in 26 years, it's just gotten worse. And now it's affecting the entire street.
This is Grace speaking. This is a nightmare of a situation. I'm so glad you brought it to our attention. We will be on top of it. Officer Cardenas, I'm so happy to hear that you impounded 8 vehicles, and we know that every Friday, Saturday, possibly Sunday night, there's a club activity happening, a nightclub. More cars should be impounded at that time because they're double, triple parking, keeping people from utilizing the street. So, when you have driveways that are constantly being blocked so you can't enter or exit, no ingress, egress, it makes life very difficult. So when we start pinpointing these small little problems that end up causing everyone to believe that there is no law and order, I believe that is why this spirals and has become even greater. And so happy to hear that the owner of 2081 is putting up a no trespass sign will allow you to go ahead and then arrest people. So
When will that happen?
She said.
So she signed the trespass order today, and as soon as she puts up the no trespass signs, then I can start enforcing. So as soon as she puts up the signs, And she told me tomorrow, so hopefully she sticks with her word. And as soon as she does, then I'll notify our patrol units as well. So when I'm not here, they're aware as well that anybody on that premises will be arrested. And I did inform the residents at 2072 that there's no warnings or anything like that. If you're on that premises, you will be arrested. And they are aware that I am coming down on them because they're on my radar now. So I've told them that I'm going to be citing them for everything. And obviously they're not happy, but it shouldn't be to the point where one family terrorizes the whole block. So
Which is what's been happening. And then Soki had his hand raised again.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch that on too. I mean, it's really frustrating because I mean, certain folks are acting with impunity. I pay my taxes, you know, I'm trying to do good and whatever, and then you have people who act like this. So, you know, I'm trying to really just organize like, well, what is the next step to sever that, you know? If it's a break in enforcement, where is it that we need to go? Or what is it that we need to do to really nip it in the bud? I mean, it's already up there, but you know, and how can we get the city attorney to do it? Is private litigation an option? I mean, can we get in, you know, that whole injunction thing? I don't know.
So before we go further, we're gonna got Brandon and then Laura, and then we'll come back to some practical steps to take. And then we'll have Officer Cardenas after Laura. Go ahead, Brandon.
So Officer Cardenas?
Cardenas.
My apologies. I don't know if you are aware, but over the last 3 days, there's been a car parked in front of 2072 with no tires on it whatsoever. Or I think it's missing the 2 front tires at least. And then there's also the issue with the boat that keeps on floating around up and down 31st Street. Yeah. I mean, it's also really bad with the dogs from 2072 that run rampant. One of the neighbors already got bit while he was trying to protect his child from getting bit. No one feels safe walking down the street. I mean, I barely even feel safe coming home past 5 o'clock at night, because you never know what you're gonna deal with. So yeah, sorry.
So this is Laura. I actually looked it up, and there are a few agencies that are not yet involved, it seems. Maybe probably this is ridiculous. California Bureau of Automotive Repair. Well, they're gonna say, oh yeah, they don't have a license, but it's that's the agency. However, there's also fire department itself, so we do have a relationship, is the entity that would require storing hazardous waste, leaking oils, improper disposal, waste fuels, fluids. So I don't know, Ally, if you could get a fire department investigation in with the same. Sounds to me like animal control as well should.
That's been reported.
Well, I know, I understand, but I'm saying higher level to actually get an action. Because if there's I mean, you said there's 2 different issues. One is a dog on a chain and one is loose dogs. It's not legal to have a dog on the chain. I mean, there is a law for that.
And the parkway.
It doesn't matter where it is. You can't have it in your backyard, your front yard, the parkway, and probably not even in your living room, but you probably could have it in the living room. But it's the chain itself that you can't have. The city passed a law a few years ago, so you cannot chain up an animal. Anyway, and the other thing that UNNC cannot help you with, and CD10 cannot help you with, police department cannot help you with, but you can, in fact, as a group, one by one, file with small claims court, each person against each property, up to $10,000. So if everyone did it, but it's private, we can. You know,
okay,
we can. No.
Okay,
That's the math.
Let's let Officer Cardenas speak, and then Ally. Go ahead, Officer.
In regards to the dogs, I have contacted animal control, and they are getting somebody out to cite them for that because I've gotten pictures of the dogs loose and the dogs chained up. So animal control is aware of it. And in regards to the mechanical work, I have my patrol units already citing them for it, but we are trying to see who can come and like completely shut it down because we can cite them and they pay, and here we go again, citing them again. But one thing I can ask, that will help me and bring it up to my captain's attention is if I send you guys the extra patrol, basically documents, and you guys sign it and tell me you need extra patrol on 31st Street. I've gotten like ones and twosies, and the captain says, okay, just send one unit. But if I get a bunch of them, she's gonna be like, all right, we need to figure out how we're gonna shut this down because it's a bunch of people sending extra patrol for that one block. And she'll give me the resources to be able to enforce that block basically a little more. So I'll send it out. I'll give it to Allie to send out to you guys. So you guys get it back to me as well. That would help me big time to bring it up to like my chain of command to start putting more presence on that block alone.
Thank you, Officer Allie. And then we're gonna come back to the room. Go ahead, Allie.
Hi. Okay. So just want to thank first and foremost everybody for contacting and staying in contact with me daily, if not weekly. And I appreciate your patience with me getting back to you. I also want to thank Officer Cardenas. I think this is the most action that I've gotten from any one of our senior lead officers, and she's only been here a short period of time. So I understand her want and need to shut this down and help me along the way with whatever comes our way, whether I'm on. I may not respond quickly, but my first response is to partner with my senior lead if anything needs to be addressed. So just know that it's not that you're being ignored. I'm trying to figure this out first because it is these actions are essential emergencies when they are taking place. I do want to say that thank you to the community members. I was able to get in contact with the homeowner after numerous months of failed attempts by our Department of Building and Safety. The City Attorney's Office, Community Law Corps are involved in this entire process and does have the filing for criminal activity on her desk. And now that we have made contact, this is for 2081, with the homeowner, she is to do all of the things requested by Department of Building and Safety, as well as assisting our senior lead officer with getting all those trespass orders and trespass signs up on that property at 2081. So I want to thank Tiffany for just being available at the drop of a hat when she contacts, because it is very hard to get the homeowner on the phone during specific hours. I'm hoping this is faster than we expect it to happen. She is remorseful and wants to comply and wants to make sure that she is helpful in easing this for everybody on the block. I think when it comes down to it, there is a sense of anonymity and safety concern for every single person on this block. So I want you to know that you are heard, and we understand how timely this needs to be, and making sure that we're consistently seeing everything. And thank you to the SLO for understanding what other things around the neighborhood that are contributing to all of these factors, including other vacant properties, the alleyways, and the liquor store on the corner. So one thing that she did not mention that we did for a few hours on Friday in the heat, mind you, I did get sick after. So I promised calls to everybody, but I felt unwell before preparing for our hosting movies in the park. So needed to take a little bit of a water break and hydration break. But we did walk 31st Street between Cimarron and St. Andrews, and most likely will continue going both on Jefferson and towards St. Andrews. And it seems like we might need to do 31st Street as well. But are no trespass signs. You all have mitigated alleys. The fences are open. They can be locked. That way there is no nuisance activities happening in those alleys. If you need help with the locks and keys, I might be able to partner to get that for you. If the gates are broken, please speak with your neighbors to see if you can coordinate getting those fences fixed and repaired. but it would need to go through every homeowner to ensure that they have a key to get into that alley. It seems like we have a positive trend on the Cimarron and Arlington side, behind the empty lot near Burger Palace. We have a couple neighbors that we need to speak with on the Jefferson side who might be a little hesitant to lock that gate. But Tiffany and I, that's our next step to ensuring that that alley can stay closed and we're not seeing those nuisance activities, as the property has attempted to ensure that that lot is not continuously a nuisance. Currently, we do have a couple unhoused individuals living in the alley and on Jefferson that we are addressing. Since it is a mitigated alley, they will need to put no trespassing signs. That way, Tiffany can go through and enforce the alley. So just want to thank her for going out there. Everyone seems very happy. We had a meeting on the block. We will continue to have Care Plus operations in the area. I've continuously sent resources for unhoused individuals, and these individuals do not want housing, unfortunately, as we've tried many times. So we have had to ensure that we're addressing the nuisance activities that are taking place. If you guys see any other new individuals, please let me know so I may send resources out.
Sorry to interrupt. This is Brendan. There's been a ton more traffic over the last 3 days. And there was also a ton of traffic over the 4th of July weekend.
Thank you. We have at the table.
Oh, Colette, I would like to also add to this nuisance that there are automotive repairs at 6th Avenue, the northeast side, which is directly across the street from an elementary school. And the same people that are doing the automotive repairs are also drinking Saturday and Sundays on the steps of the elementary school. And my son went over and took pictures of all of that.
You know, I have a suggestion. This is Grace speaking. I have a suggestion. Does the group have a 31st Street violations Google where everybody can add what is going on so you all know, and then the officer can take a look at it and someone will be able to say, I have video of this. You know, that kind of helpful information can really help everyone to resolve some of these issues. Not all, but some.
But I think the evidence is there. We've shared it, we've reported it in those things. It's okay, sorry. But you know, is that what's missing? I mean, do we need to just put it on the list?
So, okay, if you put it on a list and you can see it like instantaneously, it's different than hearing it. It happened 2 days ago. Officers can't do anything unless they see it, the violation occurring at the time.
Have a live list that Officer Cardenas has access to.
If this group has this list and you can have eyes on it constantly, that will make a difference. And I apologize, I now forget. I think Al was next. And Sunmin, did you want to speak?
Yeah, I had a question.
Okay, you're gonna go after Al. Go ahead, Al. Sunmin, and then Laura.
Okay, now
You forgot what you were gonna say.
part of it. A few years ago, we formed a group that was called Quality of Life on 31st Street. It's before you guys moved in. Audrey, Lizzie, Dolores. There was a group of us, and we would have the lead officer periodically come. So we didn't have to wait. We would talk to the lead officer in person, and things that were taken care of immediately. You know, it didn't wait. What has happened is that because the issues haven't been taken care of for a couple of years, they've just exacerbated. You know, but we do. I think, what are there, 10 of us now? So we do keep a record. I can show you all the photos that, yeah.
I think this is Brendan again.
Laura's next and then Sunmin and then you can be next.
Yes, this is Laura speaking. I think what Grace is saying, the easiest way, and UNNC can host it, it doesn't have to be any of you. We can host, because we have a big kind of huge Google Drive with lots of subfolders. We could create a 31st Street quality of life subfolder that we give access to all of you too, so you could upload to it, but you would still have to do the work of uploading. And then it would mean, in other words, it'd be a more public, more like our agenda packets, but more public than most of the UNNC drive, which is more, controlled. But we can create that, but that's it. I mean, it's not, we're not going to be driving by and taking photos. But if you'd like us to, we can do that. I don't think we need to load.
So if you call it 31st Street, then the issue that I brought up on 6th Avenue and Jefferson, how would that fall into? Could we not call it quality of life like he suggested?
Jefferson Park quality of life,
Yeah.
that's fine. I mean, the name of it is unimportant. It's the functionality, meaning we do have a huge, like I said, map, with lots of gigabytes available to us. Office.
So wait, Sunmin was next and then Al and then Sophie.
Well, I have two things. One thing is that I am putting together a GIS map of the region of our area, so we can do a, public comment submission and map everything that people feel is a problem in their area, so that everyone can see. So I am getting that ready to show and share. So that's one. And then the second one is that Alyssa, I think we talked about, Heather Hutt's office maybe possibly looking at to these owners of these properties that are becoming these nuisance properties. Because of course I've been, bugging you guys about my nuisance property, but you guys have been very helpful. I really appreciate all of the support you guys have been giving me, and it's been very quiet. But I feel like, the whack-a-mole situation where, they might go from here to there to another neighborhood. But, right now it seems like the squatters are kind of taking, they're hiding out and they're being quiet. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, but who knows? There could be a fire the other day, but ultimately it has to be, pressure on the owners. And if there's and I know the legal system is incredibly difficult because I've got trapped in it. And, I realize there's all these other agencies that have jurisdictions that, just leave a lot of, room for, it's not my hot potato. So, it's definitely a, humanitarian crisis and a huge drain on the resources of the police department, the fire department, and the, sanity of all the law-abiding citizens. So I'm there with you guys all. And this is, I think, a good step because everyone's talking about it, and hopefully we can get more resources.
Okay, because at some point the conversation has to end.
It's Sophie, but I just wanted to have CD10 or Officer Cadina's comment on if we do some sort of shared drive where we upload for live action to take place. I mean, is that going to be helpful from the enforcement side? Because we could create all these ways to report, but if it doesn't actually do anything or is helpful for you guys to help, what's the point? And we're just chasing our tails again.
Honestly, it will help me because the way I monitor what I need to take care of is through email. Because if I don't have it in black and white, I can't show my commander or my captain why I'm justifying a location, why I'm at a certain location. Because then it shows like I'm just picking and choosing what I want to do. But if I have it in email or black and white somehow, I can justify why I'm at that certain location. And in regards to like on 31st Street, 2072, if people start telling me or putting in black and white, that's a problem child, then I can request a PD to show up there more often because I have it in black and white. It's not just me targeting that certain location. It's actually the residents that are telling me that location is a hot zone. We need to take care of it. So if it doesn't just come from me and I have it on paper, I can justify why I'm doing certain things. So it will help me to be able to help you guys.
But officer, does there still need to be a formal report then, or are you going to check this periodically, or how does that work functionally?
So anytime I am at work, I check my email and I'll add that that document to my list as well to check. And I'll make sure my supervisor is aware that that's where I'm checking what I need to take care of in my area. So she is aware, and I'll try to see if you guys can allow her to show as well.
Okay, Brandon's gonna be the last topic on this conversation because we need to go to the old business and talk about fireworks.
So real quick, for both SLO and Ali, what are next steps? And for both of you, this has been an ongoing situation for decades now, and it's getting worse. And I mean, again, the UNNC sent a formal email to Councillor Hutt's office, and I believe the SLO was CC'd on that email. And I know that I put it in my emails that have been going out over the last few weeks about both addresses. And that 72 exacerbated because those issues weren't being taken care of, now went over to 81. And it just feels like it's turning into a game of who's responsible for it because it's not my issue. So if you could both share what next steps are and what's the next step also with the city attorney's office, because they should have been involved with this for like the last 6 months. And it should have never gotten to this point. And again, we had a fire on Friday and then we had another fire today. Sorry.
I think I saw a comment come through as well from Ali.
No, it was from Officer Cardenas saying, hey, if it's an emergency, call 911.
CD10, right? Yeah.
Oh, it was CD10. Sorry, Ali.
But so what's would be tasked with is, so we make a service call to you, Ali, and then we upload into the file, and then
also 911.
Like I mean,
No.
operationally.
The service call is for whatever the need is, LAPD or fire. So that's going to always be your first call if there's an immediate safety need at the moment.
Well, the thing that's, sorry, this is Brendan again. The thing that's really concerning as well is when there is a safety issue, they don't take the steps to call the fire department. They don't take the steps like the people that are causing the fires. Right? They're just being neglectful. And it ends up coming down to someone yelling at them like, hey, what are you doing to get them taken care of? So again, if Ali could please respond with like, what are the next steps and how the city attorney's already been involved and when are they gonna actually start taking action? And who's assigned to it?
This is Ali. Just want to be very clear. The city attorney's office has been involved the last 6 months. We were requested by Building and Safety to let them do the steps that they need to prepare all of the documents and ensure that everything is together before going to the city attorney's office. This is why I followed up and had the accountability to ensure I was following up with not the inspector himself, but the supervisors. And that was Catherine, who responded, as well as others who are on just supervisors. That's where I've been getting the immediate response. As of right now, within the last, I want to say, week and a half since we contacted the owner, she has complied and cooperated, and we are working on next steps. You can see improvement. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, but you will be seeing improvement in the coming weeks.
I apologize for interrupting, but it's been extremely worse. Sorry.
Okay. We're yes. We're going to go ahead and move to item number 6, old business, and talk about the fireworks.
I understand you want to move forward, but I'm not done. I want to make sure they get a complete update because this is what everybody's been asking for.
Ali, go ahead. I hope you can wrap it up in 2 minutes.
It's going to take less. Just want to let you all know that 2072 and 2068 have also recently had reopened orders for inspection with all of the movement. We will see a lot of movement happening because they are Officer Cardenas is enforcing that they remove their property off of 2081 and cease to do anything, any work whatsoever on that property. She also has moved to partner with my office, including other agencies, to get the block cleaned up of all the metal and trash in that area. I'm going to follow up with my team when I am back in and requesting that we see the feasibility of a Care Plus operation to make sure that we are removing any other items on public right away. She is and does have the information for the supervisor at the Animal Services, who I reached out to ensure that they take a partnership when Officer Cardenas is, and that way they don't come out at the end of the day. They can partner with her at a specific time to come out. And that's it.
Okay, now we'll move to old business and talk about the fireworks and some of the fires that have been happening, have happened. Al, do you want to talk about it, or Brandon?
Oh,
It's two different things. Fireworks, under my thing, fires.
Fireworks is
I mean, the fireworks have been out of control this year. There's nights or days that they start at or they have been starting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and going all the way until 3 to 5 o'clock in the morning. But I mean, I do understand it's the 4th of July and also FIFA's going on. But I mean, it just led into almost a week of not sleeping. And then again, with the fire concerns, we had 2 active fires this week, one being a car fire and then one being a trash fire behind 2081 today. Which also looks like there was a chemical spill, like they were cooking chemicals of some sort that were blue over the open fire that spilt onto the ground. So there's more
Reports of drug use.
Go ahead, Colette.
Colette, 6th Avenue stakeholder. So I reported the fireworks to 311. And also after the 4th of July, I saw these big, I've never seen this in my other neighborhood. I saw these big canisters lined up all along the street and even by 6th Avenue. So I came here because I'm concerned. Does this just go on in this neighborhood? I mean, is it permitted?
On our street, this is running again. It went up and down from St. Andrews to Western, and it did not stop. It started at 1 o'clock and it again went on until 5 o'clock in the morning.
This is Grace. Officer Cardenas, have there been any write-ups on any of the activities happening on 6th Avenue or 31st? Or any in Southwest?
Fireworks.
Fireworks. In regards to fireworks, there has been, and there's a car designated for fireworks. So if you call it in, a car that's designated for fireworks will go out.
So can you share that number with us?
It's the same non-emergency number. The watch commander will ship out a car once the basically the 911 call gets generated, or the non-emergency call gets generated.
It's Soki. Thank you, officer. So that form you mentioned about added patrols, will that also be helpful here?
Indeed, well, anything we have in black and white will help, because that's the only way that the captain will actually act on things, is if we have it in black and white.
Okay, thank you. And then that form, I'm sorry, how do we get a hold of it?
I'm gonna send it to Allie and she'll distribute it to you guys.
Okay, thank you.
so there was a second.
I would just like to add, the fireworks contribute to the fires. I mean, I was so afraid that my property was going to go up in flames because the next morning, my whole backyard was full of all of these firework debris. I mean, it was really dangerous. And so this leads to fires.
Well, this is Laura speaking. Those who come to this meeting every month know that for, I don't know, most of this year, I've just been kvetching about just too many houses in LA that have been abandoned because they're about, you know, my definition of abandoned is there's no lights on, there's no water, the doors are unlocked, people go in and out. And they're primarily owned at this point by developers who are just waiting. I mean, you're not being responsible. And, you know, I've mentioned this at this committee many times, and I'm tracking on a citywide basis at this point, but I'm just wanting to keep letting people know that what I'm looking at are many instances where it's not just that the house that was abandoned burns down, but it's catching the adjacent properties. And for example, at, I'm losing the address, I think the address is 1232 Bonnie Brace, it's in Pico Union. It burned down. I've seen the videos and they're really scary. I mean, you forget on Citizen app, you forget that this happened months ago and you're looking at it, so scary because people in the house next door were jumping out the second floor windows because that house had caught on fire. And I drove out there, and at this point, it's a huge pile of debris at the building that burned down. It's not fenced well. People could injure themselves by walking through. There's no code enforcement, no building and safety citation on that property, but the one that's next door, where the people were jumping out of windows, several went to the hospital, but they survived. That, of course, building safety put into code enforcement for fire repair and also work done without permit. Thank you very much. So there's this strange approach by building and safety to not code enforce on vacant buildings, not do anything effective, I should say. And, you know, this is not a council office issue because this is happening in multiple council offices. It's it's a building and safety issue. 5-6 years ago on 24th Street, it was repeated code enforcement complaints right down the street. I think it's 2154, right by Gramercy on 24th. Repeated complaints that kept getting closed, and then obviously one day it burned down, and the building and safety guys came out the next day and said, "Oh, so sorry," and they were kind of wringing their hands. It's like, it's your fault. I mean, it's not, you didn't light the flame, but you might as well have. And this idea that they need to go through a process that's legally, you know, litigatable and enforceable in court. I mean, that's a good idea, but it's not useful if people are going to be breaking in and then burning pieces of the house to stay warm and then burning down the house as a result. So anyway.
Thank you for sharing, Son. You wanted to say something?
I think it's our city controller, Kenneth Minaj. Anyway, he's got a sorry, he's got a website with a nuisance property map, and it's very informative because it's got every single property that has had code violations, citations. So I think he's trying to, there might be some movement there because it costs the city so much money to deal with these nuisance properties, that make sure that your properties are on his map.
Thank you.
Right, or vice versa, but yeah, thank you.
You know, I'm sure folks who've been on, Coach Ron wants to join. Laura, up there. You know, this has been a very
Coach Ron always late.
Intense meeting.
Yeah.
Our meetings are usually no, it's okay. This is life. You guys are, I had no idea until all of this started popping up into my emails. Mm-hmm. So let's be proactive. That's the only way we're going to be able to quash this. So I know we have really activist neighbors and we can do this together. And now that I know, I will help put a little more oomph into making it happen. So thank you all for spending your time with us. We meet every second Monday at 7 p.m. here. We'd love for you to join us, but I want you to know in August we're taking the summer off and we'll see you in September, but that doesn't mean we're not going to be on top of this because we know these issues are just
maybe by September we'll have a little bit of an update.
I do want to say that on 31st Street, we have the problems that the guys know that I walk up and down the street because I do my steps. And it's a wonderful neighborhood. We have some new neighbors. And as I said, 26 years, I want to give credit. I love the place. It's one of the most diverse. Our street is just amazing. You know, if you start from Roberto, from Nicaragua, Cambodia, Puerto Rico, we've got the most diverse age, the whole family, and it's a beautiful street. And so, you know, it's a work in progress, and I just feel like we're being heard. And so thank you for all listening.
Well, thank you, everyone. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.